everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to ask the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine, what does it really mean to be in oneness? What does it really mean to be in unity? What does this really mean? Like when they say that twin flames should be in union, what does this actually mean? That's what I want to know. So is this something that we're not getting? Is there a part of the unity or union that we need to know more about? What is behind the scenes here? Because a lot of people are not in physical union. So I think there's a step that needs to happen before we get into physical union. So I want to find out what that is. What's the step before? What is the step before physical union? So what does it mean to be in oneness? What are we talking about here? So we'll use the World Spirit Tarot deck for the Divine Masculine, and then we'll use the Beautiful Creatures for the Divine Feminine, and we'll see what we get. And we'll use a bunch of other cards too. So let's grab 2 cards for the Divine Masculine. What does it mean to be in oneness? What's the step before what is the step before union? What is the step before union? 2 cards. What does this mean? 2 cards. What does this have to do with? 2 cards, please. Whoops. What does it mean to be in oneness? Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. Well, look what we got here. It's almost like, okay, you want to know the step before oneness? They're asking you to take a break, sit down, okay, and yes, to be in stillness here. Yes, to be in, I don't know, is that stasis? I don't know. You know, when you're just in between 2 choices and you're just kind of like, I don't know which way to go and I'm blind and I don't know like what decision to make. Well, they're saying to take a break. So this is for the Divine Masculine, by the way. So for the Divine Masculine, what I'm getting with this is they're asking you, it's not doing, okay, it's being in wellness, okay? It's healing. So what does healing mean? Oh my Lord. If you want to look up, inner child healing, inner wound healing, all that type of stuff, because that is what your twin flame will do. They will mirror that back to you. Okay, so whatever that means to you, you can look that up and see what the heck inner child healing is. But we can definitely get more information on that. But let's do the Divine Feminine side. Okay, so that's interesting. 2 of Swords and 4 of Swords. Let's look at the Divine Feminine side. What is the step before physical union? So what does it mean to be in oneness? What does it mean to be in oneness for the Divine Feminine? What does it mean? What does it mean to be in oneness for the Divine Feminine? What does this mean? What's the step? Like what are we missing here? What's the step before physical union? What does it really mean to be in oneness? Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So we got they call this transformation or transition. So that's the Death card. Or we have 10 of Wands. And they call this card hardship. So the step before getting into physical union is definitely the 10 of Wands, which is hardship, okay? So it's a challenge. You are in the midst of a huge challenge. You're being challenged right now. And what it's doing is it's transformation. But we're going to get more on this, okay? So to me, that does look like all of your wounds coming out on this card. And butterflies, of course, is like transformation. And then this is being more one with your shadow side, right? Getting to know your shadows. So transition, yes, you're in a major transition. So, all right, so let's keep going with this. I need more. So I need more. Please let me know what the heck. So what does, let's use this deck. So let's get clarification for the Divine Masculine side. So what does it mean to be in oneness? What does this have to do with? What does oneness have to do with when it comes to the twin flames? Right? Because it's all about union, right? It's all about unity. So what is this about? One card. One card for the divine masculine. What does this have to do? Why is Four of Swords here with the Two of Swords? So we have, oh, interesting. So we have deep, so it's like coming out of a deep freeze. So it's almost like what they're telling me is that the divine masculine side has been stuck in this kind of mode of how to do things. So with the divine masculine, that's all about, um, being very organized, being kind of a go-getter, definitely helping others. The divine masculine is about action, okay? And so it's incorporating the divine feminine, and so it's like coming out of that deep freeze of what you're used to and what always has been. It's almost like that has to become undone. Okay, that's very interesting. So it's like, oh, okay. So they're also telling me, with the deep freeze. So it's almost like, and not to be stereotypical, but with many of us here, well, I'm going to say with in America anyway, we have a hard time warming up. So, I mean, not everyone, but okay, me. So it's like a thing where it's like the compassion and the empathy that doesn't come into play very often. And so it's very hard for the divine masculine to have those type of qualities, right? So if somebody's going through a hard time, or let's say someone has this perception of like what's going on right now is like hurting them in some way, a lot of people, instead of feeling empathy or compassion for them or seeking to understand, instead they're just kind of like, well, you're being, idiotic, or, that's silly, or like, why do you think, like, it's like that type of thing. And so it's like coming out of that deep freeze where you're more compassionate with others. That's what they're telling me. Okay, so that is about unity. Okay, so that's one way to be unit. Seek to understand others. That's huge. Okay. So let's see what else. One card for the divine feminine. Why is this here? Why is the transformation and Ten of Wands here? What is union? What does union have to do with, please? Yeah. I always get this card, the dry desert. So it's about, okay, and I always have to show off the footsteps next door. So it's like you're walking with your soul, knowing that you need to go through these harsh conditions and adapt to this new way of living. So we are going into the age of Aquarius, and so it's not about the fun and games right now. It's about the transformation. So transformation doesn't come easy, right? No, it doesn't come. It comes through hardship, unfortunately. And this is you and your soul going through this. And I know you probably think it's you, but no, it's your soul. It's like your soul wants to expand. And so your soul kind of programs your life all around you and puts you through kind of like this rigorous test. So the twin flame, relationship is one of those types of tests where, it's time to adapt. It's time to adapt to a new way of life. And so we're trying to figure out, so what does this mean to be in union, right? Because this is what we're going for. What does it mean to be all one? What does it mean to feel like we're in union? Because that is what the soul needs. The soul is trying to expand. And with this card, basically it's like going on a path that no one else is going on before, right? There's no footprints in front of her. Like she's the first one, but she has footprints next to her. And so it's like, even though these are harsh conditions, right? It looks like Arizona in the 115-degree heat with no water in her hands. That's not an easy journey, right? So this is the journey that we're on. Okay, let's get more. What else is this all about? Let's grab this deck. Whoopsies. Okay. Let's look at the divine masculine. What else does it mean to be in oneness? What does this have to do with? What is the step before physical union? What do we need to know for the divine masculine? What do we need to know about it? For the divine masculine. One card for the divine masculine. What does this have to do with? What is it that we're not getting? Yeah, awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Yes. So integration. So what does that mean, integration? So you know, like again, I'm just one perspective, right? So there's the one truth, and there's 7 billion perspectives of the one truth. And so whatever you think is integration, so whatever that means to you. So if you feel like that means integrating with, well, I'll just give you my perspective. So for me, integrating was integrating my own inner child. So any wounds from my inner child, whether it be also ancestors, past lives, anything to do with my wounded adult self, all that needed to be integrated. Okay. And that helped me to awaken, right? Because I see the mirror, right? Everyone's mirroring me. So that for me, that is integration. But for you, it could mean something different, right? So integration with others, like what does that mean to you to be integrated with others? Like what does that even look like? So it's something to ask yourself. So that is for the divine masculine. And now for the divine feminine, let's see, what else? Why is this here? Why is dry desert here with the transformation and 10 of wands? One card, please, for the divine feminine. Okay, yes, we got just say yes. So whatever that means, so just say yes. So, you know, so what are they trying to tell me here? So what you see here is you see this woman in the center, and it's almost like she's making this symbol, and she has these almost like you would want to call those oh, what are they called when you see like the round bubbles in the air. I'm sorry. I'm losing my brain cells here. But anyway, it's almost like spirit is coming towards her, and it's like saying, "Hey, you know, come this way. This is the way." And so it's almost like, yes, say yes, don't turn away. So it's almost like the journey is being pointed in a certain way. And it's like you have these 3 directions, right? You can go this way, you can go that way, you can go that way. And you're seeing all these different choices that you have, but yet you see spirit here and you kind of see the direction that the soul is kind of pushing you in, right? Because you have this longing deep inside of you that you feel like it's pushing you in a certain way. And so they're saying, say yes to that, right? Interesting. Okay, so let's pull these cards. So let's look at the divine masculine. What else? What else does it mean to be in oneness? What else does this mean? What else does this mean to be in oneness? Or why is this here? What is this all about? What is the step before physical union? What's going on? Okay, so mischief is yours, sorrow is yours, virtue is also yours. You are the source. Yes. So so the divine masculines, when you get this, and I am the divine masculine, by the way. When you understand that it's all you, like you are the mischief, right? You are the sorrow, right? Like you are the shadows, you are the light, you are gray. So there is no getting into the light. It's actually being gray. It's actually knowing that you're the darkness and the light, right? So when you know this, it's like you start to, I guess, integrate. That's what integration is. You integrate all of it. It's not like outside of you. It's not like, oh yeah, that person is so bad and that person's so this or that person so that. No, it's like no, because like integration is integrating all of that. That is you. That is the soul. Your soul is embodying everyone, right? And so it's like you know that you are the source, like you are it, you are everything, and everything's mirroring you. Okay, let's look at the divine feminine and look at Buddha wisdom for the divine feminine. And of course, it's probably best to take advice for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine because we are both the divine masculine, divine feminine, especially as twin flames. Our souls, what they did was they came down separated to come back in union, right? So right now you're probably talking to your soul in such a way you probably don't realize that you are, but you are, and either the divine masculine side or the divine feminine side. And then the other side is helping you as well, but from your twin flame, right? And so it's helping you to integrate the divine masculine and divine feminine qualities, those qualities. And if you want to research what that is, you need to integrate your divine masculine and your divine feminine side to be balanced. Okay, so this says call forth as much as you can of love, of respect and faith, freedom from within. Call forth as much as you can of love, of respect and faith. Yes, so how do you do that? Well, again, in times like these, it's kind of hard, right? It's kind of hard to see the love, feel the love, be of faith, right? All these things, right? And so it's like you have to call it from within first. Feel the freedom within yourself. Be free within yourself. How are you going to do that? Well, when you know mischief is yours, right? When you know sorrow is yours, it's not someone else's. I make that mistake too. I'm like, that's someone else's problem. That's not my problem. So, but if you make it like, oh, I get it, I can understand, and you don't have to agree. Trust me, you don't have to agree. And again, this is just a perspective. I encourage you to get many perspectives on many different truths here, but my perspective is that when you listen to all perspectives, and have more of like an understanding and just make them feel heard. That's really it. Just make others feel heard. It actually it aligns your own sense of self and it aligns their sense of self, and it's almost like a freeing freedom. It's like an expansion. It's almost like, wow, thank you for hearing me. And but again, you don't have to agree with them, and sometimes it's very difficult to do that, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to um, listen. Trust me, I have a very hard time listening to certain perspectives. So I'm an ethnic studies major, and I don't like hearing any kind of racist comments or anything like that, and it's very upsetting to me. And so it's just one of those things where even as bad as that, it's hard to do, but it's almost like you need to just make someone feel heard, and that's it. You don't have to agree with them. I know that's hard. Trust me, I know. Very difficult. And some people out there might be saying, well, that, you should never listen to any of that. You should never give that a platform. And that perspective is also correct. All perspectives are correct. So, anyway, so let's look at the divine masculine. Let's look at the divine masculine side. So, what advice do you have for the divine masculine side, please? What advice do you have for the divine masculine? One card, please. One card. All right, surrender your belief in scarcity. Okay, so this one says the universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Yes. So this makes sense. So, if you're out there believing in scarcity, like there's not enough resources or there's not enough, I don't know, whatever it is you're trying to. So let's just say you're a YouTuber and you're like, oh, this is such a crowded space and everyone has already talked about this, and those people already have fans, or I'm starting up this company and everyone else already sells this. It's like, no, that's not how it works. So there's always enough. There's always enough resources. There's always enough people because it's more of a mirror, and you have something that someone else doesn't. Okay, so it's like you have something that they vibrate and they match your vibration with, when maybe others don't, right? And so the whole scarcity is more of a belief. So when you believe in something that, like, where, oh, it's limited, then that is what you create, right? And so you have to kind of be open to abundance. Okay, let's see now. Let's also look at the divine feminine. What advice do you have for the divine feminine? Also, they're telling me about scarcity is that that whole integration thing, right? So when you integrate and you realize that you are all of it, right? So I already am it, right? So I'm already that famous baseball player. I'm already that um, President of the United States, or whatever. It's like I already am, like I am. It's like when you do that, like I am, and you already know, like, hey, when you realize that the third dimension is the last step. I know this sounds weird, but when you realize that your soul has done all the creations from all other um, vibrational scales, or not vibrational scales, but when you look at life and say, okay, so I'm in the first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, blah, blah, blah. If you realize that you've been in all those other dimensions, that the third dimension is the last stop, okay? And the third dimension is where you get to now experience all the creations that your soul has made. Like you created this. Like you created everything. It's like good and bad, you created it for expansion. Okay? And now you're just here to experience it. So there's no scarcity. It's just what do you feel like experiencing right now? That's all it is. And you just realize, hey, I've already done like the third dimension is not like lower than fifth dimension. Absolutely not. Third dimension is harder to live in than the fifth dimension. People are in awe of those of us living in the third dimension because this is the last stop. This is where we experience everything we've created in all other dimensions. All right, let's look at the Divine Feminine. What advice do you have for the Divine Feminine, please? So I like to have my window open because it's so nice out, but of course we have some very loud cars out there, as you can hear. I might have to close my window for the next one. Okay, so for the Divine Feminine, we have surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, then move forward. Yeah. So it's like listening to your body's wisdom, so whatever that means, because your soul does embody you. So, what does that mean? Well, I'm all about the muscle testing, to be honest with you. I love the muscle testing. The muscle testing will tell you everything you ever want to know. Like if you go into a supermarket, it will tell you what food you should eat. If you do muscle testing, it will tell you yes and no to things. But anyway, that's just me. That's my little soapbox with that. I love the emotion code. I always recommend that. But when it comes to wisdom of your body, that can mean lots of things. So if you have any kind of pain in your body, you just know your body's talking to you and your body's trying to tell you something. Maybe you have a trapped emotion, maybe you have some kind of thinking that's making your body break down in some way or feel drained. And so listening to the wisdom of your body is very important before getting into physical twin flame union. Because that is where, it's almost like they want you to be in this practice before getting the physical twin flame union, because since it's a relationship with your soul, you need to be connected to your soul. And then in this case, for the Divine Feminine, it's being connected to the body. Okay. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I'm going to do a lot more videos on this because, well, this is what my niche is. This is what I teach on, and this is what my specialty is, and it is what my passion is. So anyway, so if you like this type of, it's just a perspective, and again, I encourage you to research other perspectives. You don't have to take mine. And of course, any of these cards that you look at, if you have a different perspective or a different translation, please take your own. All right. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.